So in the next one, the lesson's about buying an MP3 player. Now, obviously, actually, let's see if we can find out just by looking straight at it. It doesn't say what year this was made. I don't have that in front of me right now. But most kids aren't going out and buying MP3 players anymore. But you can, again, change it and modify it for what works for you, okay? In this, it's all about, the whole lesson is about, remember, making choices, using criteria, thinking about our opportunity costs and what is it that you're giving up. For the next piece that we're looking at, like I said, you can use the one in the workbook. If you're industrious, go ahead and do it. Make it work for you. Let's see here. So you'll see there's a thing, same thing here. You can use the paste problem to work on it. There is a template that you can use that you can change. And then what decision do you recommend and what's the opportunity cost of that decision? If you're doing the MP3 player one, it tells you have $200 and these are the different choices that you can make. So, you know, state the problem, state the alternatives, think about the criteria, evaluate the alternatives, and then go ahead and make a decision. So, you know, I don't think you could do all of these in one class session. I certainly couldn't, but it's something that you could build on each other, especially if you're implementing this particular lesson and trying to teach that concept of opportunity costs. Okay, so the final one that we have in here, so this is with the MP3 player. Obviously, that might change a little bit. Here's some examples that you can use to answer for that particular one. Now, exercise 2.3 is a little bit different, and we're going to show this one here. And it's telling you where you're going to weigh criteria, okay? Weigh criteria. And in weighing criteria, not all criteria are going to be weighted the same. You're going to be answering questions about purchasing a laptop and deciding which laptop the family should buy. What criteria are more important to you? Does the family's laptop going to be, or does the family's criteria going to be different from the criteria that you might select? So, family's deciding to get a new computer, and here they assign values to it. Okay, for the students themselves, they can go in here and build their criteria. Okay, here's the different options and the value and the different alternatives that are available. Okay, so what are they going to weigh? Do their values, are they the same? And this might change. For example, if your students are really tech savvy, maybe they might think that one of the criteria is going to be the brand of the computer. I might want a Alienware over a Dell, okay? So the different criteria, it's the same idea though, but in this case, we can weigh the different alternatives that are available to you there. So like I say, some criteria is going to be more valuable, and your students are going to be asked, you know, does their criteria match up with yours? Do the values that you select, are they the same? And then come up with a rationale and a reason why. Now this again is a great opportunity for group work. Doing this online, you might do this a little differently. I don't know, you know, everybody has different ways that they can do things. You can use these and have students respond to you in a variety of different ways. My school district uses Microsoft Teams, so in my case, my students might be using forms to respond, and also to deciding how they can work in small groups might be a little different. You might need to do this individually unless you have the capability to work in small groups remotely. So in this case, the criteria is, again, helping family to purchase a computer. So all of these things in here. And I actually, as you keep on going on here, it's going to have some other different things. So for example, a panel assessment that you can divide the classes into groups and different extensions. I actually haven't gotten to the part where we do that. I use as the, so what I use as my assessment is if I give the students some criteria. So the two different pieces here, okay? And you can decide if you want to use the more complex version or not. So for example, if you don't want to use value-based criteria, right? Then don't. It's okay. The key piece that we're teaching our kids is this stuff up here. Oops. Is knowing that there's alternatives, a cost-benefit analysis. So what are the advantages and disadvantages to both different things when I make a decision? What the heck criteria is? The idea of opportunity cost. When I make one decision, I'm going to be giving something up to get something in return. And then the idea of a trade-off. If I give up a little bit of this, I can get more of that. And it can be as simple as a money trade-off. It can be as simple as if I buy shoes that are cross trainers, well, I can wear them playing basketball and I can also wear them around. If I buy shoes that are court shoes, well, they're really meant for playing basketball. If I wear them out and about, they might get messed up. Again, make it your own. If you do it on whatever it is that you're interested in and that your students have interest in, that's one thing that you can make work for you, make it work for your students, make it work for your community. And remember, everything that you need is located in here in the teacher version. You have different screens that you can use, and you can use these in your PowerPoint if you want. You can copy them, you can make your own, or you can just use the PDF file and share these with your students. Okay, this is the same stuff that's going to be in the student workbook, and the student workbook again is included, and it has a variety of different computers in here. And you're going to notice, depending on what it is you want to go into with your students, if you've already talked about credit and interest rates, you could talk about what it means if there's no interest. Are they going to be purchasing on credit? For my purposes, the major goals are the ones that we stated earlier, talking about criteria, evaluation, opportunity costs. It's not necessarily on teaching about credit here. Now we do get into credit, and we do get in terms of what interest works on, but not for this particular lesson. And again, you can see here the values that you can assign to those. This talks about the assessments with the panel discussion, and that just wouldn't work for me right now, but there's some more that you can look in there for that to add to what you teach. But like I said, the biggest thing is make this work for you. And let's go on. Some of the other things too that I might talk about with my students, one website that I often use is the Ngpf Arcade. And if you want to use that, oops, you can. As your students make choices. So the Ngpf Arcade we'll probably go over in another lesson, but this is the kind of thing where students can make some choices. I use the game Money Magic with my students that helps them make some choices. And you just go to ngpf.org arcade, and they can do some work in here. Especially I use it as an extension for when my students might get their work done early, but it teaches some of those same core skills that we talked about at the beginning. And I also might go into what are criteria we see in advertising, but so for example, when you're making a purchase, and we see this on the one with the computer, talks a little bit in here about the 12 months no interest, or advertising closeout only 10 left in store. So is that something that you might think about when you're making a selection? Okay. And again, remembering what are things that we're trying to teach to our students: how to monitor income expenses, strategies to control and manage credit and debt, and getting reliable information and making decisions to make good personal financial decisions. So that That is Lesson 2, Making Decisions from Financial Fitness for Life. If I can answer any questions for you, please feel free to get in touch with me, send me an email, and let me know how you did with this in your classroom.